Hello, yeah, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to look at lookup table in C, right? So what is a lookup table? A lookup table is a predefined list of table that the program can quickly look at to produce an answer instead of recalculating uh, a particular input all the time. For example, your multiplication table can be considered as a lookup table. So instead of saying 2 times 3 and then you have to calculate, you can just look at the multiplication table and tell us what the value is. So we also have something like that for the computer program to use. So I'm going to write a program now to a lookup table for the square of numbers. So instead of recalculating, writing a function to keep calculating the square of any number that you give, the system can just quickly look up the table to get that square of the number. So let's write a program. So a lookup table is just an array, right, of a predefined answers. So let's write a program to do that. So I will say the same thing, include stdio dot h. I am going to use my main, so int my main function, int main. Then inside this my main function, I'm going to create an array of 10 numbers. So I will call it int, let's call it square table. So 10. Then inside, so the square of 0 is what? 0. The square of 1 is 1. The square of 2 is 4. The square of 3 is 9. The square of 4 is what? 16. The square of 5 is 25. So I'll just continue here. The square of 6 is what? 36. The square of 7 is what? 49. The square of 8 is 64. And the square of 9 is 81, right? So that is our square table. So instead of calculating the square of any number that you supply, you just look up this table and pull it out. So having done that, now I'm going to ask you to supply a number. So whatever number you are going to supply will have to be stored in the memory. So there has to be a variable that will hold that number. So we'll declare another variable. So we'll call it int num, right? Number. So we'll call it int num. Then the next thing we'll do is I will now ask you to input a number. So print f, enter number. So I'll put this 0 to 9. Then I'll close this. So this will be printed out on the screen. Printf, enter number. It will be printed out on the screen. Now, when you enter a number, I will use scanf function. Scanf. This scanf is gotten from where this printf is, which is what? Standard input output header. Scanf will receive it. Now, whatever number you enter will be taken by this scanf and stored in the number variable. So what will you supply to scanf? The address of number. So address of num, right, will be stored there. Now, when I supply a number and it is stored here, the next thing will be what? My if statement. So my if statement will check if the number is within this range. So I will say if, now, if num is greater than or equals to 0, and so this is an operator, and num is less than 10, right? Go in and do printf square of percentage d is percentage d slash n, comma. So this one, square of, will receive num. It's an expression that will receive num. Why this one? What should be there? I'll write it here. Will be what? Square table num. So I will close it. This. If num is greater or equal to 10 or 0, and num is less than 10, meaning it's within this range of 0 to 9, right? Print f. Square of whatever that number that you supply is here. Let's say you supply 5. Square of 5 is, it will look up this table and find out, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will look up the table and it will tell you the value that is in that place, which is what? 25, and to print it out. So that's why you're having this square table num. Whatever is supplied to this place is going to look it up in this table and print out the value. Else, I want to bring in my else statement. So this one, I will close it. I will close my if here. Else, I will also put this in curly brackets. Print f number out of range slash n, right? I'll close that. Then I'll close my curly bracket. Then I'll have return 0. So this, I will close it. All right, so that is my program. So what am I doing? I brought in my preprocessor directive, standard input output header. In this main, I'm creating an array of 10 numbers. So what is inside this array? I am putting the square of numbers from 0 to 9. That's what I have inside that table. Then I created another variable num, which will hold the value I'm going to supply. So printf will print out enter number 0 to 9 to print out this on the screen with this space here. Then I will type in a number. Let's say I put in 5. Then it will come. Scanf will take that 5 and put it in the address of number. So it will store it where this number is. That's why it's putting it there. Then I will check if num is greater or equals to 0 and num is less than 10, meaning it is within this range. Go in and print out square of whatever number I supply, that 5. Square of 5 is, it will look up this table and look at position 5. What is there? It will print it out. That is why I'm having this num and this one for this place. Else, if I supply 10, 10 is out of this range, right? It will print out printf number out of range, and then it will return. So this is the concept of a lookup table. It saves time instead of doing the calculation over and over again. So you can just look it up and then give out your answer. So let's go to code blocks. Let me demonstrate this for you to see. So this is our code block. Lookup table. So this is what I demonstrated on the screen. I taught you on the board. So we created our main function. We created an array of 10 numbers. So these numbers are the square of individual numbers from 0 to what? To 9. Then I created this variable to hold the value that you will supply. So here I'm asking you to enter a number within this range. Scanf will take it and put it in this variable. Then I use my if statement to check if it is within that range, then print out this number, which is square of the number is, then S, if it is out of range, to print out number out of range. So let's execute this script. So you see, asking me, enter a number. So here I'm going to enter 5. Then I will press enter on my keyboard. See, square of 5 is 25. That is it. So I will run this script again. Then I will enter 11. When I press enter, it should give me number out of range. You see, number out of range. That is what it's telling me, number out of range. So how did you know? That is the instruction that I gave it. So I can run it again and put another number, say 9. Enter. See, to give me square of 9 is 81. So without doing any calculation, it will just look up this table and then print out the value. So that is what I want to show you in this class. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Till we see you in the next class. Bye-bye.